you guys who've been watching my videos or just in myself in the past. And that's you have too much ego to ask for help. And because of that, you're causing yourself to stay in the same box that you've been in for so long. And it's one of, if not the only reason why you can't seem to break out of this box, right? And a lot of you guys watching this are like, what box are you in? You guys are skinny, you're insecure, you're practicing bad habits, you're not happy with who you see in the mirror. Like, this is the most derpy drawing I've ever drawn in my life. But this is exactly where you guys are at. But not only that, you guys are stuck in the same box to where you're plateaued on your lifts, you're not able to make any progress, and you've been stuck, if not losing progress, for a very long amount of time. Right? I got on a call with a guy and he's been stuck in the same spot for about 3 years. And this is something that actually made me spark the, you could say, inspiration to make this video, because the thing is, with this guy that I was on the call with, he was stuck for the past 3 years and he's been completely plateaued. He had no confidence and he wasn't happy with his physique at all, right? But not only that, he had too much of this, or too much pride, or not enough actual drive to make the step necessary to get out of that. But the thing is, when you guys put yourselves in these kind of boxes to where you're like, okay, I'm too smart, or I know what I'm doing, or I'm too scared to actually ask for help, or whatever it may be, you're not doing anything. But like I said in the beginning of the video, is keeping yourself stuck in this box. And this is a mistake that I made, but it didn't change until someone broke this and made me get out of this box. So we can go to that, right? So we could go back a couple years ago to where I was going to a gym called Flex. And at the time, I was probably like 130 pounds. And, I was making pretty good progress. But then after a while, I got stuck, right? And this frustrated me, of course. But me being me, and some of you guys are in the same position right now, I had too much pride. I had too much ego. And I thought I knew too much to ask anyone for help, or ask anyone for help. And because of that, it kept me stuck at this spot for a very long time, like a couple of months at this point. But it wasn't until I had a conversation with an actual bodybuilding coach, and he told me that basically I was putting in half effort. Like, he didn't say half effort, but I'm not going to say what he did say, but this is what he told me I was doing, right? I was putting in half effort. I wasn't doing things the right way. But me being me, in the moment when I saw this text, because he shot me a text telling me that, like, quote unquote, you can continue doing this and stay in the same spot for all I care. If you don't want to make any more progress, that's on you. I don't care if you want to grow or not. And in the moment, I got kind of upset about it because, like I said, I had too much pride. I had too much ego, because I've been making some progress, but I was stuck. But when someone told me about this, when someone pointed this out, when someone made me come to the realization that I was putting in half effort, I was not being the best version of me that I could have been, and I wasn't doing enough, it made me upset because it threatened my ego. It threatened my pride, and it made me get put in this uncomfortable situation to where I had to think maybe I have been doing something wrong, right? And in a moment, like I said, I got pretty upset about this. Like, I read this text, I got mad, and I remember typing out, I'm like, I typed out some message to where I was like, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. But then I deleted it because I slowly realized, I'm like, this guy has actual good intentions for me. He knows more than I do. Maybe I should just listen to him. And me putting my pride aside, me actually giving myself the ability to admit that I was wrong, or me actually deciding that maybe the things that I've been doing, the things that I think I know, the habits that I've been practicing, the way that I've been training, maybe, just maybe, I have been doing everything wrong. And me getting this text from my bodybuilding coach at the time broke me out of this box, because in that moment, I was able to put my pride aside and just realize that maybe I am dumb, or maybe I don't know enough, or maybe I do need help, and maybe I should just consider hearing this guy out. And because of that, it broke me out of this box. So where some of you guys are at right now, I know I'm rambling a little bit, but if you just stick along, you'll be able to see how all of this connects, right? Because a lot of you guys could be in the exact same position that I was in a couple of years ago, if not worse. Because I was around 90 pounds. I was skinny. I was insecure. I was depressed. I was suicidal. And everything was just bad. Like I had no confidence, anything like that, right? But at the same time, at this specific moment, when I was in this spot, I was willing to ask anyone for help because I didn't make any progress. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know any of this stuff. Like I'm 90 pounds. I hate myself. I wouldn't get out of the situation. So maybe I should go out for help. So in the beginning of my journey, that's exactly what I did. And I ended up running across this guy named Logan. And he was like, at the time, like he was one of those guys to where he was pretty strong, right? And in the moment, I thought he was like the most insane person ever. Like he was deadlifting 405. I'm like 90 pounds, thinking this dude's like freaking Superman. But I allowed Logan to teach me because I realized I didn't know what I was thinking. I didn't know what I was doing, right? I was just standing there acting like I did, and because of that, it left me stuck in the same spot that I was always in. But when I reached out to Logan, or when he pretty much put me under his wing, I was able to put my pride aside and actually absorb all of the information that he gave me. And then it led me to actually knowing what to do through like him helping me, trial and error. And then eventually I got back to this spot. Okay, cool. So fast forward, now that you guys have context, I've learned from Logan, right? Went from 90 pounds, I'm around like 130, and then I get stuck, right? I'm not making enough progress. I'm getting kind of comfortable. And, my bodybuilding coach is trying to challenge me, but I had all this mental resistance stopping me from breaking out of this box simply because I wanted to feel like I knew what I was doing, right? Some of you guys are in here now. Some of you guys are adults and like you're 25, 30 years old and you're like, oh, I don't want a younger person teaching me what to do, or I don't want anyone telling me I'm doing something wrong. But that mindset, your unwillingness to taking criticism, your unwillingness to actually admit that you're wrong, or that you could be doing something wrong, or that maybe you need to learn more, is keeping you stuck in the same box that you guys have been in for years. So until you drop the pride, until you're able to realize, maybe I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I've been training for years and years and years, and all of this stuff needs to go in the trash because I've been stuck for too long and I'm not happy with it. Right. So the moment that you're able to admit that is going to be the moments where everything can change, because then you're actually able to realize, okay, I have been doing something wrong, and you're in the right mental space to take criticism or to take some sort of guidance, because the moment that you're able to release yourself from this kind of pride prison to where you feel like you're doing everything right, even though you've been stuck in the same spot for years, that's when you can grow. So the moment that you start learning from other people, the moment that you realize maybe you are wrong, is the moment to where you can finally hit this breakthrough moment and start making more progress. And this is exactly what happened to me. But until then, you guys are going to be stuck. Because if you continue doing something that hasn't gotten you any results, you continue doing the same thing day after day after day after day, nothing's going to change. But the moment that you're able to bring in something or someone to where they can tell you, hey, you've been doing this wrong, you need to do this. And if you're able to drop the pride and actually take the criticism, then just maybe you'll be able to take that and actually grow. But main reason why I'm making this video is because I know a lot of you guys are in this spot. A lot of you guys are in the position to where you're like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I've been training for long enough. I've been whatever it may be, right? Some of you guys just are in the position of where you just don't want to take any sort of criticism at all because it hurts you too much, or you just can't stand to be wrong, or you just have this image of yourself in your mind to where you're just this huge smart person that does everything right, and you don't want this image of yourself to be threatened by anyone, because then your ego is going to be hurt. But if you choose to do this, that's on you, right? Like if you choose to be in a position to where you're like, okay, I'm doing everything right, I'm right, everybody else is wrong. If anyone tells me I'm wrong, they're dumb, and I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing. And the reason why I'm making this, like I said earlier, is because I see this all the time. I've gotten on calls with guys who have said in their own words, yeah, I'm going to just keep doing what I'm doing. And they've been stuck for 3 years. They've been stuck for 4 years, right? So until you're willing to actually take feedback, until you're willing to actually open your mind up to the point to where you're able to understand, maybe someone knows more than I do, or maybe I am doing something wrong in any area, especially fitness, because it's the most straightforward thing there is, right? Not literally, but it's a very straightforward thing. If you haven't been making progress, you're doing something wrong. And until you're able to admit that, you're always going to be stuck, right? And this isn't just applicable to fitness, this is applicable to every single area of your life. If your relationship is failing and something is going wrong in your relationship, you can't be in the position to where you're like, okay, everything's fine. And, if anyone says otherwise, then they're stupid. Then your relationship's going to be in the dump because you weren't willing to understand that you were doing something wrong to change the trajectory of that relationship, of whatever journey that you may be on. Until you're able to realize that, you're always going to be constantly in the same spot, and then eventually hitting a point to where you're losing progress or losing the person that you're with, or whatever situation it may be, until you're able to actually take feedback and get out of your own head and realize that maybe I'm not right about this, or maybe I'm doing something wrong. Until then, you're never going to make progress, bro, because the dumbest people are going to be the people that make more progress, because they realize, I'm dumb, I don't know what I'm doing, I need help. So let me learn from someone who does know what they're doing. And then that way I can actually make progress. But the smart people who want to just protect their ego, the smart people who just want to be right all the time, go ahead, be right. You can be right about something that's been keeping you stuck for 4 years. And if you want to continue being right about it, you can go ahead and 10x that, because if you don't take feedback from anyone else and continue doing the thing that's been keeping you stuck, you're always going to be here. So until you're able to be dumb enough to take feedback from someone who actually knows more than you do, nothing's going to change, right? And I'm not sitting here telling you guys this because, I want you guys to buy my course or whatever it may be. No, this is, like I said, applicable to every single area of your life. Unless you're able to realize you're wrong, unless you're able to understand that, okay, maybe I am doing something right. Maybe I'm not this extremely intelligent person, or maybe I'm not as talented in this area as I thought I was, or as I want to be. And maybe I should learn from someone else, or at least take some sort of feedback and change something and be willing to make that change. You're always going to stay the same, right? So if you're trying to make this freaking transformation and you're tired of being skinny, insecure, depressed, you're walking around with hoodies on, covering your body up, you're not doing anything to change your situation, so you're always going to be stuck in this spot. Till you break out of that and actually change something, whether that's learning it from someone else, or just maybe putting your guard down and dropping your freaking ego and stop thinking you're right all the time, then you'll be able to actually get to the point to where you're making more progress linearly, because you're constantly taking feedback. And if you dip, you're going to understand that, okay, I'm doing something wrong. I need to ask someone for help. I need to change something so I can start making more progress again. Right. So the whole point of this video is going to be a short one, but you guys just need to stop thinking that you're just the perfect human being, or you're the smartest human being, or you know exactly what you're doing when you've been stuck for years. It makes no sense, right? In any area of your life, relationship, business, fitness. Obviously, this is about fitness because a lot of you guys are watching my content just for the fitness side of things. But this is applicable to anything, bro. You can't grow unless you're dumb enough to realize that you need to grow. Until hold on, I'm lost track of my thought. You're not going to grow until you tell yourself you're dumb enough to take feedback in order to make that growth. Because if you just want to stay the smartest person and you want to be right all the time, and you're not willing to take feedback and you're not willing to change, you're always going to stay the same, and that's a guarantee. So might have been a little bit of a chaotic video, but I hope you guys were able to actually take something from this. And obviously I am a coach, and if you're a skinny guy looking to actually transform your mind, your body, your confidence overall, just click the link in my description and you'll be able to book a call with me if you are a good fit. Obviously, it's not for everybody else or anybody, and obviously it's not free.